Rain hammered the streets the night Anna's life changed forever. She had stayed late at the office, perfecting a critical update for her company. By the time she left, it was nearly 10 p.m., and the drizzle had become a relentless downpour. Anna considered calling a taxi but decided to drive home. After all, it was just a 20-minute trip. She never saw the truck coming. A drunk driver sped through a red light and crashed into the driver's side of Anna's car. Sirens wailed, red lights flashed, and the last thing Anna heard was a paramedic calling her name before darkness swallowed her. When consciousness flickered back, Anna found herself trapped in her own body, aware but unable to move or speak. Voices drifted through the fog of medication and pain. 3 fractured ribs, shattered collarbone, severe traumatic brain injury, a doctor was saying, his tone professional but grave. We've induced a coma to control the brain swelling. The next 24 hours are critical. I see, came her father's voice, cold and clinical. And insurance? We need authorization from next of kin for the surgery, the doctor continued. You're listed as her emergency contacts. Anna tried to move, to speak, but her body wouldn't respond. She could only listen, trapped in the darkness of her own mind. Actually, doctor, her mother Esther said, Anna isn't really our daughter. I'm sorry, the doctor said, confused. She was adopted, Richard added matter-of-factly, but the papers were never formally filed. So really, we have no obligation here. I don't understand. You're listed as her emergency contacts. A formality. Look, doctor, we appreciate you calling us, but we can't be held responsible for someone who isn't actually family. Anna's heart, already struggling, seemed to stop altogether. Even now, even here, they found a way to abandon her. We'll be going now. Esther's heels clicked against the floor. Please remove us from any further contact. The sound of footsteps retreating down the hospital corridor felt like a death sentence. Anna wanted to scream, to rage, to demand they come back, but she was trapped in silence, alone once again. Anna's life had always been a quiet battle, fought in the shadows of a charming cul-de-sac. Her childhood home was a 2-story house with a manicured lawn. From the outside, the Reynolds family looked perfect. Richard was a well-known engineer, Esther was a popular schoolteacher, and they had 2 daughters, Anna and Rebecca. But things were not as perfect as they seemed. Anna always felt there was a wall between her and her younger sister, Rebecca. Their parents seemed to give Rebecca all the attention, praising her for simple drawings and even for average grades. Anna, on the other hand, felt invisible. Even when she got straight A's or played the piano well, her parents barely noticed. Anna couldn't understand why she was treated so differently. Was it because she was the oldest? Or maybe because she didn't look or act like the rest of the family? She spent her childhood trying to earn what was freely given to her sister. She tried harder, always, desperate to earn a scrap of the love that flowed so freely to Rebecca. But it never came. She learned not to ask why. She learned to smile, to try harder, to accept that something about her simply did not fit. It wasn't until that night, 13 years old, standing unseen in the dark hallway, when she finally heard the truth. Anna had crept downstairs for a glass of water, only to freeze at the sound of her parents' voices from the kitchen. "You always favor Rebecca," her mother snapped. "You're the one who can't accept Anna isn't really ours," her father shot back. "We agreed when we adopted her. No favoritism." Adopted? Anna felt her whole world turn upside down. The glass slipped from her hand and broke on the floor, making her parents jump. Anna ran to her room, and when her mother Esther came to check on her, Anna pretended to be asleep. But she couldn't sleep at all that night. She stared at the ceiling, finally realizing why she didn't look like her family, why their love always felt uncertain, and why she had always felt out of place at home. No one talked about what happened, not that night, and not the next day. Breakfast was quiet. Her parents smiled, but it didn't feel real as they poured their coffee and acted like nothing was wrong. Life went on as usual, but Anna was left carrying the secret that no one wanted to admit. After that night, Anna stopped asking for love and started chasing achievement. If she couldn't be their daughter in heart, maybe she could be indispensable in deed. She studied relentlessly, volunteered, tutored younger kids, won science fairs and debate trophies. By 17, she'd graduated top of her class with a full scholarship to university. She majored in artificial intelligence and mathematics, fields where results spoke louder than relationships. By 25, she'd co-founded a tech startup that caught the eye of investors and media alike. Yet her parents remained unmoved. At her graduation, they complained about the parking. When her company secured major funding, her mother said, "That's nice, dear, but when are you going to settle down? Rebecca's already engaged, you know." It didn't matter how high she climbed. To them, she would always be the girl who didn't quite belong. The only person who loved Anna unconditionally was her grandmother, Claire. Summers at Claire's Victorian house were Anna's sanctuary, full of creaking floorboards, the scent of old books and cinnamon, and stories told by firelight. "You have Amanda's eyes," Claire would say, brushing Anna's hair from her face. Anna always wondered who Amanda was. She never pressed. She was used to secrets. The breaking point with her parents came at a family Christmas party. The Reynolds dining room glowed with candles and laughter as they toasted Rebecca's latest achievement, a promotion, another award. Anna couldn't remember which. When her own recent success was mentioned, her company's software being used in hospitals across the state, her parents nodded, unimpressed. Anna couldn't stay silent anymore. "Do you ever notice how Rebecca can do no wrong, but nothing I do is ever enough?" Esther frowned. "Anna, not tonight. Don't start this again." "No, let's—" Anna pressed, voice trembling. "Let's talk about why you've always treated me like I'm less than. Why you never told me I was adopted, even after I heard you say it." Her mother waved her hand dismissively. "You've known since you were 13. Why dredge it up now? You should be grateful for all we've done for you." "Grateful?" Anna whispered. "You made me feel like an outsider my entire life. You gave me a home, but never a place in your hearts." Her father's tone was cold. "We thought it was best. Children need stability." "I needed the truth," Anna replied. "I needed to be loved for who I am, not what I can achieve." "You never wanted me," Anna said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "You wanted the idea of me, someone you could show off at dinner parties without ever having to actually love." "We gave you everything," Esther snapped. "A beautiful home, the best schools, every advantage. Most adopted children would be grateful." Claire's hand slammed the table, eyes fierce. "Enough, Esther." But it wasn't enough. Anna realized she'd spent a lifetime performing for people who never even clapped. She pushed back her chair, heart hammering. "I'm done. I won't beg for your love anymore." That night, Anna packed her things, changed her phone number, and found a small apartment on the other side of the city. She cut off all contact with her parents and Rebecca, except for weekly Sunday calls with Claire. Each call was a lifeline, a thread connecting her to the only real family she had. 4 months later came the accident, the rainy Tuesday night, the drunk driver running a red light, the crushing impact, the darkness. The accident shattered Anna's new world. As she lay in the hospital, half awake and in agony, she learned her parents had refused to help. "She's not really our daughter," they told the staff. "We owe her nothing." They left without a backward glance. But Anna was not entirely alone. A colleague from work, Emma, stepped in as her emergency contact. She filled out forms, called Anna's lawyer, and stayed by her side until Anna was out of danger. She recovered slowly. Her ribs healed, her mind sharpened, though headaches lingered and sometimes her left hand trembled. The accident had left scars, But Anna was determined to return to her life, to the company she'd built from scratch. Days blurred into weeks. Anna struggled through pain, exhaustion, and the slow, frustrating work of recovery. She fought to reclaim her memory, her mobility, and her hope. One afternoon, a hospital social worker entered her room, eyes troubled. "Anna, I need to discuss something important," she said softly. "While you were unconscious, your parents, Richard and Esther Reynolds, petitioned the court for conservatorship over you." Anna's brow furrowed in confusion. Conservatorship? "They told the court you were mentally incapacitated from your injuries. They claimed you couldn't manage your finances, your company, anything. They tried to get complete control over your estate, your shares, your business decisions." Anna's stomach dropped. The same parents who had left her to die had come back, not out of love, but for what they could take. The social worker continued. "Your doctors and your friend Emma gave testimony. They explained your situation, what your parents had said and done at the hospital. The court denied the petition. It's over. You're protected." Anna turned her face to the window, tears streaking down her cheeks. Even now, her parents found a new way to betray her. They had left her alone, then returned to try and claim everything she had built. Then, as she was relearning to walk without a limp, Anna received devastating news. Claire had passed away quietly in her sleep. Anna was inconsolable. For days she wept, clutching her grandmother's sweater, lost in memories of summers and cinnamon, the only true home she'd ever known. A week later, Anna received a letter from Claire's lawyer, a last gift, written in Claire's careful, looping handwriting. "My dearest Anna, if you are reading this, I am no longer here, but please know my love for you has never ended. There is something important I never had the courage to tell you face to face, and you deserve to know the truth. Your birth mother, Amanda, was my niece. She was only 16 when she had you, young, scared, and unable to care for a baby on her own. I was already too old to raise a child myself, so I asked my son, Richard, and his wife, Esther, to adopt you. At the time, they couldn't have children, so they welcomed you into their home. Not long after you arrived, Esther became pregnant with Rebecca. What I didn't realize then was how much Amanda loved you. Giving you up broke her heart. She felt as though she had lost a part of herself. Unable to cope with her pain, she ran away from home, hoping to escape her sadness. Sadly, Amanda got involved with the wrong people and tried to find comfort, but found only more pain. Just 2 years after you were born, she died in a car accident, far from home. It was a tragic end to a life that could have been so much more. I have often wondered if I made the right decision. But please remember, none of this was your fault, and you were never unloved. You have always been loved, Anna. Even in her darkest moments, Amanda spoke of you as the light of her life. I have done my best to share that love with you. Legally, you were adopted as a daughter, fully and forever. My final wish is that you always remember you belong, not because of any paper, but because you are truly worthy of love. Everything I own I leave to you, with all my love, Claire." Anna pressed the letter to her heart, tears falling silently. For the first time in her life, the ache inside her began to lift. There had been pain, loss, and secrets, but there had also always been love, hers to claim at last and carry forward. The funeral was small. Anna stood alone, dressed in black, her heart aching with loss. After the service, she returned to Claire's house, a place she'd always felt safe. As she unlocked the door, she found an envelope on the table, her name written in Claire's elegant script. The house was quiet, her bed just as she'd left it, sunbeams dusting the faded quilts. Anna read Claire's letter again and again, letting the love in those words wash over her. A week later, Richard and Esther arrived, expecting to claim Claire's estate. They walked through the house as if it already belonged to them, making plans to sell the furniture, arguing over antiques. Anna watched them from the kitchen doorway, her grief giving way to a strange, quiet strength. When the lawyer arrived and read the will, leaving everything to Anna, her parents were stunned, their faces twisted with outrage. They tried to contest the will, dragging Anna through court, but Claire's wishes were airtight, her intentions clear. In the end, Anna won. Her parents, defeated, tried to reconcile, but Anna had nothing left to give. She saw through their empty gestures. Their love for her, she realized, was always conditional. Anna chose peace of mind over family approval. She cut the last ties to her old life and closed the door. The months that followed were lonely, but for the first time, Anna was free. She poured herself into her work, mentoring young engineers, volunteering at local charities, making small changes in her world. She kept Claire's house, filling it with light, friends, and laughter, building new memories on old foundations. She visited Claire's grave every Sunday, bringing wildflowers and stories of her week. "I'm okay," she would say, her voice soft in the breeze. "I'm finally okay." Anna learned that love wasn't something to be earned or begged for. It was something she could create, nurture, and give. She opened her heart to friends, to colleagues, to neighbors who became family. And that's the end of today's story. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more captivating stories. See you in the next story.